Well, hiya there! How are my subscribers doing today? Well, okay, in all seriousness, I wanted to show you guys a work in progress that I have for the upcoming God's Voice Lines video. So, it is very work in progress right now. Very work in progress right now. It's basically going to be the intro for the video. And it's going to be kind of like the intro to the series, the actual series, where they talk about, in the beginning, how Lucifer was cast out of heaven and stuff like that. Except I'm going to kind of do it my own canonical style with God, on God's side. This is, like I said, very work in progress. Not the final recordings of the voice lines. It is going to be very different. Story is going to be cut down way much. Like, right now it's sitting at like 6 minutes of like an intro, and that's way too long for an intro. I'm going to get some feedback from you guys on what to cut, what to add, sound effects, what would sound good. I'm thinking about getting a soundtrack made for this instead of just finding one free to use online. I'm thinking about custom making a soundtrack for the intro, which I think will be nice. But anyways, guys, very work in progress. Take a listen.
In the beginning, there was God, and only God, and nothing else but God. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. He decided to create the heavens and the earth, taking 6 days to create the perfect paradise. Then he rested on the 7th day. God decided to make beings similar to him, beings of pure light. He called them angels. He first created the archangels to help serve and protect the heavenly realms. That is where I came in, the Archangel Michael. He then created the knights and the seraphims, lastly created the angels themselves. His most beautifully crafted angel, Lucifer Morningstar. Lucifer was God's greatest follower, but he was flawed. He was a dreamer that sought to share the godlike powers to the creatures of the earth, granting them free will over everything. But God knew that in doing so, they would all fight for power, creating nothing but chaos and destruction throughout the universe. It would unleash the great evil. He denied Lucifer, warning him about the pain and devastation it would bring upon creation. But Lucifer started to question God's supreme authority, started to rally up some angels to fight. Lucifer and his new followers attacked the heavenly realms, so God cast them into the fiery core of the earth to suffer eternal damnation. 2/3 of the stars in the night sky fell that night. He granted them free will within their new hellish realm and bid them farewell as to prove what would happen when everyone is granted free will. Afterwards, God went on to create immortal beings on earth in his image to rule over the creatures. He called this creation mankind, as he created Adam and Lilith. Adam demanded respect from Lilith, and she ran away from the Garden of Eden. Lucifer found Lilith, and the two fell in love. God gave Adam another bride, using Adam's rib. He named her Eve. But as revenge, Lucifer tempted Eve to eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge. She shared this with Adam, and both of them unleashed Lucifer's evil upon the earth. God punished them by throwing them out of the paradise, and gave them mortality, cursed with the hardships of man. He then cast Lilith down to hell for betraying both mankind and the earth. As time marched on, mankind grew, and God spread his gospel throughout the earth to save his creation from evil. But sin found its way into the hearts of the Israelites as they turned their backs on God. They built false idols to worship and disobeyed his teachings. He was a wrathful God, and he punished the Jews for years on end. One day he decided to give them a second chance. He gifted them his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. His Son was born of man to walk among them, to spread his teachings and save humanity from evil. He preached at the temple, calmed the storm with his hands, turned water to wine, cast demons out of men, cured the sick, raised people from the dead, and saved countless lives. But the priests' hearts were filled with sin, claiming Jesus was a false prophet, and had him arrested by the Romans. Mankind crucified Jesus, hung him on a cross to die. God was filled with anger, ready to wipe out mankind, but his Son asked to forgive man for their sin. God understood, loving his Son and loving the world, and resurrected him on the third day. He gifted Jesus rule over the angelic army, taking over after me. God decided it was time to help out humanity again, and went back to earth. Over the years, the churches became more corrupt. Priests and holy leaders were cheating God's children out of the true word. They were taxing the people, creating unfair rules, and casting people out of the churches. It saddened God. He started trying to lead people back to hope, but that was the last we ever saw of him in the heavenly realms. Still down on earth, trying to save his people. All was well in heaven, until Adam struck. He gaslit Jesus into going on a holy journey to save souls, and took over the angelic army. Us archangels refused to let that slide by, but the seraphims challenged our authority. So we left to earth, in search of the Heavenly Father. I do not know what will happen once God finds out what Adam did. But let me just say, the year of Jubilee is upon us.